All right, this is a video called "Should We Bring Back Traditional Gender Roles?" Ooh, so listen, man. They've never gone away. They're already here. I mean, it's so weird because when people say bring back traditional gender roles, we don't really have like a definitive. What do you mean? Some people might just mean, where the woman kind of stays home and cooks and cleans, and the guy goes to work. And some might be even more regressive than that. I don't really know. But at the end of the day, the choice is still there to do these things. It's not like you can't. And if you feel like the way society is set up today is in a way where you have to have a 2-income household, sure, that's a class issue, though. That's a class issue. The issue is that like a lot of people, a lot of rich people, have too much money and they're not paying their taxes. There's a significant amount of wealth that's funneled up to the top. They have more wealth than they ever have before. It should be distributed a little bit better in a reasonable way that doesn't make people like lazy, right? I get that. But that's the bigger issue. So let's get this going.
Hey, you guys, it's Aldo with PragerU. Today we're here at UC Berkeley to ask the students about traditional gender roles. Should we bring them back or shouldn't we?
Well, they've never gone away.
Women are at a loss for what roles they should be in and what roles they shouldn't.
No, they're not. Listen, this is a very online perspective. This doesn't exist. This problem doesn't exist in the real world. Online, where everybody's like debating everything, blah, 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 it exists. You think it exists? It doesn't. At the end of the day, people just need to go to work and build meaningful relationships, and you just do whatever role you have to. It doesn't really matter, and things will settle themselves. Like my wife actually enjoys doing dishes and the laundry and stuff more than I do, but I'll still help out. We both work. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes I have to do shopping. She likes shopping more than I do. She likes grocery shopping more than I do, but I'll do it sometimes. It's just you just do it. You just do what you got to do. It's not like women and men aren't running on going, what do I do? The real issue is like, yeah, there's lack of availability of some jobs for sure. But like, this isn't this profound issue you think it is. It's just really a lack of like availability of some jobs existing. And schools, instead of trying to guide children or the kids to do jobs that would be good for them, they just like, go to college, you'll figure it out. You shouldn't tell a kid that, And then we have people who like now they're older and older and but they aren't maturing because they're at home for so long. Because again, they can't find decent jobs to be able to leave their house, and houses are so expensive for no reason. There are people who buy and sell and they flip houses. They do barely any work, and they churn out garbage that breaks apart in 5 years. Like, this is a problem. Deal with those problems.
We can have women that are in the workforce, of course, and we can have men that stay at home.
Well,
but
true.
I think it's important that we recognize the inherent differences that are in men and women.
People already do.
And embrace them.
Okay.
It's going to be a good...
We don't have to embrace them. People recognize it. Like, go talk to a regular person. Stop going to fucking colleges where everybody's like a SJW loser. They're so annoying.
Good one. Let's go. Should we bring back traditional gender roles in society?
There it is.
By all means, not. No.
Why
When you say traditional, do you mean like force women? I mean, I guess he doesn't. So
Why not?
Because we should have equal opportunities and equal chances.
I think that we've moved.
100%. She's right. Everybody should have equal opportunity. Everybody should have the opportunity to do anything. If they can't do it, they can't do it. Regardless of whether they're men or women.
Moved away from those roles for a reason. I think that they were oppressive towards women.
Yeah, the fundamental role where women couldn't work was very oppressive, for sure.
It's kind of lame to have the mom stay at home and do nothing. It seems like kind of an unfulfilling life when you're not really doing anything past raising your kids.
Okay, well, this guy's just weird. It can be very fulfilling to stay at home and raise your kids. Like, this guy's just kind of dumb. And this is what happens when you go to colleges and ask kids. Because you'd expect that. Of course, you're 20 years old. You're always going to be dumb. It's not very fulfilling. It can be profoundly fulfilling to stay home and take care of your kid. That's totally fine. It's about what's fulfilling to you. If you can be fulfilled staying home and taking care of your kid and taking care of the household while somebody goes to work, God bless you. If you can't, then you get a job. This is the great thing about the ability to do whatever you want.
You're kind of just a slave to your husband, I would say. But if someone wants to stay at home and that's what they want to do, then go for it.
Well, I think more broadly today, there's no expectations of what men should be and what women should be. And
yeah, who cares? What expectation should? Well, what does that mean to you? What does that mean? What expectation do you feel like there should be?
women can go out into the workforce, men
Sure.
can stay at home.
Sure.
But I think today we've lost the definition of what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, and what roles come along with those genders.
Who cares? Okay, and listen, okay, you guys know on this channel that I talk a lot about being a man. What it means to be a man to me is a very philosophical thing, and it means a lot to me. But ultimately, a woman could grab onto the rhetoric, and they could be like, that would be good for them to be a strong person as well, right? And I already talk about it. Being a man to me means protecting people who need protecting. It means like working hard, being strong, being stoic to an extent, while also finding the proper channels to vent your frustrations. Like, for instance, I have my wife. Building positive, meaningful relationships with mutual trust, care, and respect, and taking care of the things that you need to take care of based on your relationship contract. That's it, right? That's it. But like, what is it that you would expect? Like, I don't understand.
There are innate differences between men and women that make us men and
Biological
women.
differences, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, but in biological differences that inform us of the things that we're good at.
Sure. So if those biological differences inform us of what we're good at, then we don't need to forcefully tell people what they're good at, right? I don't understand.
Do you think that we should return to traditional gender roles in society?
100 billion%. People are happier when they have traditional gender roles. I think men and women's relationships, in the workplace,
What, based on what?
in every aspect of life, when people know their identity and like what they're supposed to be doing and where they're going to excel at, then I think people are going to be happier.
Do you think that there
What does that mean? I want to know what he means by this.
are inherent differences in men and women that make us unique, and that some things men are better at, some things women are better at?
Sure.
No.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there's femininity, masculinity, right? Men they seem to gravitate towards like infrastructure building, and women seem to gravitate towards empathy and like caretaking. Those are two great things, but men can do caretaking, women can do infrastructure.
Do you think that there are any biological inherent differences between men that
Mommy milkers.
make men better at some things than women, and women better at other things than men?
Necessarily. There are biological differences, but you have a wide variety within each gender.
Sure.
So
I think at the moment men and women are like arch enemies and hate each other. But
Yeah, because of stuff like this. This is why. This is the little walk around PragerU little baby TikTok bullshit that people put up and go, and they try to dunk on each other because of these on the street interviews where you can like put whatever you want to be seen. Like, yeah, this is why people hate each other. It's children on TikTok looking to be victimized. It's true. It's 14 and 15-year-old boys and girls who want to be victimized. So the girls are all like, feminism is awesome. And then they misuse feminism. They misuse female advocacy to hate men. And then there's men that do the exact same, or boys do the exact same thing to women. That's the manosphere is. There is positive male advocacy spaces, right? There really are. They're just not as popular as the manosphere because the manosphere hates women. And it's the same thing where like there is real feminism, but it's not as popular as toxic feminism that hates men because it's fun to be a victim. People want to be victims. And so they lean towards these spheres and they go, oh, I'm a victim. It's women's fault that, oh, women won't fuck me. Well, that's because the modern woman is unfuckable. It's bad. They're bad. We need to bring back all traditional gender roles. Instead of teaching these young men to be better and focusing on that. Like, I don't understand. It's crazy. But sometimes they'll say, you should be self-improve. Bro. When we go on social media and we talk about how women are just on Tinder to build their self-esteem and how they're really bad, and how they will reject men all the time. We never talk about how like that's kind of part of the game is getting rejected. And as a man, just be rejected and don't take it personally. Yeah, you're going to get rejected more as a guy because you generally are the one that goes on the dates or that asks women out. But if you really have a problem, instead of advocating to women that they have too high standards, why don't you advocate to women that they should approach men? Wouldn't that be better? Women, we have a problem. We have a problem where women are rejecting men at higher rates. So what we need to do is shame women into stopping doing that. What if we just told women to approach men? Doesn't that make more sense? Doesn't that take off a significant amount of the pressure on young men? If we did that, be a little more open about your expression, about like what you're interested in. You know what I mean?
But I think when women can fall into a traditional feminine roles and play these roles that can complement men, and men can play their roles, not to say, women couldn't work ever or whatever, but I think people would just be a lot happier. I think marriages would last longer.
You're right. They would be happier. That's why women said we don't want to do this. That's why women said that they don't want to be forced in this role because they wanted to be miserable. Right? Well, women do want to be miserable. That's why they try to change men. So
I think there would just be a lot less complication in life.
So do you think that we should have equal representation in industries in our society?
We should have equal opportunity.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We have 93% of construction jobs are men, 86% of sanitation workers are men, and 86% of nurses are women. Okay. So should we be forcing women out of nursing and into sanitation and into construction and bring some of those men into nursing?
No, they should be able to do what they want.
I think a lot of those statistics are just a product of like the culture that they were brought up.
Listen, men used to be pushed out of particular career fields because they were women. Men never really had that problem. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And now we're getting to a good spot. Because I'm sure that there were some men that might have been shamed for being nurses, and now we don't have that issue as much. You know, I prefer male nurses. I hate women. I'm just, you know,
Can you name 3 things that men are better at than women?
It depends upon what kind
having penises.
of upbringing they have had. That's what decides.
Can he name 3 things? I'm just curious what he thinks.
That
Killing spiders, war, well, fighting in war, not necessarily war, because there is a statistic going around that talks about how men are better leaders because in England for 500 years, women would start wars more than men. If you look at the statistics, those women actually also won the war. Women leaders actually won the wars more than men. So, you know, maybe they're not so bad. Maybe there's something to be learned from a woman leader. Now, there's a lot of actual factors in there as well that people don't know about. I've talked about it before. Like, for instance, there was usually a more cohesive unit between the man and the woman when the woman was in charge, whereas when it was a guy in charge, it wasn't so cohesive. And part of that's because there was no motivation for the man to betray the woman, because he wouldn't become the monarch. He wouldn't become the ruler if she died. So he was like, if I want to maintain my power, I can't kill her. It actually generated some trust. But there's something to be said about the power of a man and a woman together. And this is one of them.
they are better.
You make gender this huge big issue. The left does huge big issue.
You guys are on the right are making it just as much of an issue. Let me tell you.
My gender this, my gender that. But then you're like forcing it. But
Yeah, I mean the female monarchs. Yeah.
you're neglecting what your gender actually is. Everyone cares so much about gender, but they have no idea what gender they are or what it even means to be a particular gender. It's bad.
I will say that there's a little bit of like they call it the social contagion. Like trans people exist, but I will say that in any landscape, like I think that there are some people who are just saying they're non-binary and it's not like genuine, right? Like here's my thing. Let's take it to racism. If you grow up in a racist area, you're probably going to be racist. If you grow up in a non-racist area, higher chance you won't be racist, right? If you grow up in an area that's around a lot of like gender ideology, you're going to have a higher chance of identifying outside of your gender in a way that's probably unnecessary because of some like level of social, not necessarily pressure, but it's like social, like weird, like I don't know, possibly like pressure in some capacity. Some people are racist because they're pressured into being like, you know, discriminatory. I'm not saying it's all bad, but what I am saying is that there are people who are genuinely trans regardless of the atmosphere that they're in, and then there are some people who are more susceptible to like what's going on in their particular area. And that just exists. That just exists.
I think it's negative.
Can you name 3 things that men are better at than women?
No, I don't think that it's like black and white like that.
Peeing standing up is one of them.
I think they're really good at protecting. I think they have the best sense of humor. They're very funny.
You can't name 3 things that women are better at than men?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with gender.
I think naturally women are better at nurturing and listening, caretaking, maybe this like more gentle role, but I think
Yeah, sure. Giving birth.
women are also very good at organizing and things like that, so I would just say probably
Maybe. My wife organizes a lot of stuff. I don't.
in general.
Well, you guys, that's a wrap here at UC Berkeley. It was really difficult to get students to talk about this one, but I think that highlights what
Probably because it's just a dumb question.
this was all about.
It's a stupid question. Should we bring back roll? What does that mean? They already exist, brother. You can engage in whatever relationship you want. That's all it's about, being a free country. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Men and women are different, and I think it's those differences that make us
Wow, he's speaking so many facts. No shit.
special and make us unique.
Most people aren't saying men and women aren't different. Most people understand this.
And we have to embrace those differences, not erase them. If you guys like this video, make sure to share it with your friends. Make sure to comment what you think about traditional gender roles. If you haven't done so already, make sure to download the PragerU app so you don't miss out on any more videos like this one.
Oh, I wish I missed out on this one. Okay.
I'll see you in the next one, guys. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ma'am.
Are they going to go on a date? Because she looked like she wanted to be with this guy.
Ma'am.
Hey, guys. Thanks.
All right, cool. What happened to Will Witt? William Witter.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.